Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Hamayu and I'm here with a set of videos specifically designed and crafted for this specific course of statistics. We'll be covering the all-embracing aspects of our studio and our programming relevant to this specific course. Professor will be covering the theoretical and mathematical aspects of this course, and I'll be covering the data analysis and visualization aspect that are specifically based in the programming in our studio. So this first video is actually an introduction to our programming in our studio, a brief introduction. So what we'll be covering in this video, we'll be talking about what is R, we will be talking about its downloading and installation, and the third one is actually about our studio. So what is R? Communicating, we always require a language. So to communicate with a computer, we always need a computer languages. So R is also a language, and it's an environment for statistical computing and graphics. It is specifically designed for statistical computing and graphics. So it's based on the philosophy of working on data. Right. So when it was first created in 1993 by two statisticians, Robert Gentleman and Ross Ehaka at the University of Auckland, New Zealand. That's why we call it R, because the initial of both of those statisticians is R. That's why we call this software or tool as R. So what do we have in it? It has everything one needs for data analysis, manipulation, and visualization. So it is a sort of all-embracing thing for data analysis, manipulation, and visualization. No matter which type of data you're working on, whether it's a panel data, a time series data, or whatever it is, R is something that can really help you. So how can we download it? The best thing about R and R Studio is that both of them are free and can be downloaded for any operating system. Whether you're working on Ubuntu, whether you're working on Linux, or anything, you can download it for free. So these are the links. The first one is for the R and the second one is for the R Studio. You must have to download R first and then you have to download R Studio. So we'll be discussing, the difference between these two as well, that if we have R, then why do we need R Studio? So that's not a big deal. So these are the links for, if I click on this link, so this is actually the link for the R for Windows. You just have to click on this. So the new updated version of R is actually 4.3.1 version. So again, you can find it for the other operating systems as well. So it is free for every operating system, right? So for installation of R Studio, you have to click on this link again. So it will take us to the website so this is actually the website of R Studio. So when you click on this R Studio desktop for Windows, you can download it for free. There is a paid version of R Studio as well, which is irrelevant to students, which is normally used by the professionals or organizations. Okay, so that was all about its downloading. The third part of this video, which is the most important part, is about R Studio. So what is R Studio? Well, if we talk about the artists or musicians, they all require a studio. Same is the case with R. For working in R, we need a studio, we need an IDE for it. So this is actually a sort of a working environment where we can work in R. So it actually makes it very easier for us to work in R. So in order to understand R Studio, we need to move on to the R Studio and we need to check what do we have in R. This is actually the R Studio. If you click on it, so what do we have? You get 4 windows in it when you open it. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, let's come first to this window, which we call console. So this is actually console. This is specifically designed, for the output. We always get an output in this console and work on a single liner code in this console. So we call this window as a console in our studio. Many of you might have a white background when you download it for the first time. It has a white background. I've given it intentionally a bluish and a blackish background. So this is the console, which gives you the results, and let me brush it. So which gives you the results, and along with that, you can use it for a one-liner code. Let me make one variable. For example, let me name it as A. A is equal to 1 up to 100. That is a variable which has values of 1 to 100. So if I run this A, it will give me the result. So what do we have in it? So see, this console is for a one-liner code and for for the result. So for example, if I want to calculate the standard deviation of this A, SDA, it will give the standard deviation, which is 29.01149. For example, if you want to calculate the square root of this A, so it will calculate the square root of all the 100 numbers that we have, from 1 to 100. So this is console, which gives you the results and where you can work on a single liner code. Okay, this window, why do we have this window? This window is for writing a multi-line code. For example, if you want to write your own code, let me show you my code that I've written yesterday for a plot. Yeah, so this is actually my code. I've written it for creating a plot. So this is something where you write a multi-liner code. So along with that, it is used for one other purpose as well, which is very important. It also shows you the data in the proper sort of rows and columns. See, so if I click on this data set, so it is showing me the data in a proper rows and columns. So this is, if you see, this is the data is actually in a proper rows and columns. So that is something. If you need a new window for writing of code, you just have to click on this file, and then you have to click on this new file and R script. So you will get a completely blank window for writing a code. So this is the second window in this RStudio. The third one. Okay, this one actually shows you the history, that what you have done right now. If you see, I ran this standard deviation of A and square root of A. So it actually stored all those previous commands that we run. It also gives you the environment of the variables that you have. For example, this value A have integers from 1 to 100. It starts from 1 and then it moves on. So it also talks about the data sets, environment. It also talks about histories and some other things. So this is the third window of RStudio. Okay, the fourth one is very important. In fourth one, we've got 5 things: files, plots, packages, help, viewer. Files, what files do we have right now? So like RStudio will always be connected to certain thing that it shows is about files. The second one is about plots. Whenever you plot something, it will plot you something for you. Let me plot pi for you. Pi of C of pie chart 20, 30. So if you see, I plotted a pie chart of 2 numbers, 23 and 30. So it gives you this basic pie chart. Plots window is used for displaying the charts and graphs that we make while using. Okay, the third one is about packages. That's very important. In R, we have got one base package where we got around 4 to 5,000 functions, but that's not enough. In R, we have got packages for every specific purpose, right? And we need to load those packages in R. So we need to load those packages, install those packages before working on specific data sets. Help is very important. For example, if you want to know about this pi function, so what you have to do is just write help, and inside the bracket write pi. See, so it will display all the things that we have in this pi function. So it will tell you what you can do with this pi, right? So this is a beautiful thing about R, that it also help you in running the functions. Okay, there is also other way to work with it. You just write down this sign of interrogation and write pi, and it will also work. In this way, you can also get details about pi, the specific function of pi. So if you don't know about pi, you can just write help, or either put a sign of interrogation before the function to get the details of that specific function. So this was an introductory video of R. I hope you would like it. It would require 10 to 15 minutes of yours to download and install and to learn about the 4 windows where we get console, the upper window, and the right window and the lower right window. So we've got 4 windows in this studio, and all of them have their specific functions. And in order to understand it and learn about it, you need to follow all the steps that we went through in this first introductory videos of ours. So thank you very much. I'll be coming up with our next video. Allah Hafiz.